Welcome everyone to the Redtail Speak overview. Redtail Speak is Redtail Technologies' compliant texting and internal chat solution. Today we will be giving a full overview of Redtail Speak, including how to get started with Redtail Speak, sending internal messages, sending text messages to clients, as well as some other exciting bells and whistles. So let's get going with our overview of Redtail Speak. Redtail Speak is a standalone product that does not require a CRM subscription. To log in, you can go to redtailtechnology.com, click on the login button in the top right corner, and then we'll see Speak as one of our login options where we can enter our username and password. If you don't have a username and password, you can give our sales team a call at 800-206-5030, press option 2, and they can get you set up with a trial. Once we're logged in to Redtail Speak for the first time, you'll want to select a phone number that will be associated with your account moving forward. This is the phone number that contacts will see when you send them a text. To select a number, you will click on the icon in the top right corner and click on Settings. Once you're in Settings, it will default to Phone Number Setup. Now, we can select an area code, so you can pick an area code in the area that you live in so that it's a number that would resemble your existing numbers that you have. So you can type in a number, so I'm going to type in an area code here. And when you search, it'll bring up all the available numbers. And you can even refresh this list to give you some additional options, and you can keep refreshing till you find just the right number that you want. Then we'll go ahead and click on that number, and it'll give us a little green check mark. And then from there, we'll scroll down to the bottom of the page and hit Next. And now you'll be presented with the number that you selected. We can look at this number, make sure it's the one that we want to do, because one thing that's important to know is that once we select this number, we're not able to change it. So be sure that you like this number. And once you're sure of it, you can go ahead and click confirm, and now we have our number. So now we have a number that we can utilize to send and receive messages to our clients and contacts and whomever we want to send Speak messages to. The next recommended step will be to go and enable the integration with Redtail CRM. Now, if you're not a Redtail CRM user, you don't need to pay attention to this aspect of it, but one of the great features of Redtail Speak is that it does integrate with Redtail CRM. So we'll do that by going and clicking on the Integrations button, and we'll be presented with a screen that shows Redtail CRM, and you'll see an Enable button on the right side of the screen. We can click on that Enable button, and you'll notice that now it goes to a word that says Enabled with a green check mark. So we're good to go there. And the benefit of enabling this integration is that you can now have your Redtail CRM data to use for which client you want to send the message to, as well as it will sync updates. So if a client changes their phone number, if you get a new client, those will be synced into Redtail Speak, as well as all of the messages that you send or receive will be archived in their client record under the Speak History tab, which I will show later. Once the integration is established, if you're not a Redtail CRM user, it's important to establish other users of Redtail Speak. So if you're a Redtail CRM user, your users are already in there. So all the users that you have in the CRM will translate here to Redtail Speak. But if you're not a Redtail CRM user, you'll want to go ahead and add the other users. And we do that by clicking on the Members button and navigating to the Add Member button. Click on the Add Member button, and we can choose, is this a member or an admin? The difference between a member and an admin is that an admin can do things like add additional users, as well as do some of the other features that we'll show in this settings area. If you want them to just purely be able to log in, send messages to other team members, and send messages to clients, then you don't need to give them the admin rights. But to establish a user, all it requires is a first name, last name, username, email, and password. Once you've filled out all that information, you can go ahead and add the member. One point of warning, the username is not editable, but the password is. So you can always do a temporary password that they can change, but the username is going to stay, so make sure it's one that they'll want to use. After we've added the team member, the next step that we want to do before we start texting clients is going to be our invite message. So if I look a little bit up on the left-hand side of the page, we'll see invite messages. So it is required that anytime you're sending messages to clients that you send a message getting their permission to text them. So this is not a Redtail requirement. This is a standard requirement for businesses that want to text clients or prospects. And so within Redtail, you can customize what is said to a client. So you'll notice here in my database that I have an invite message. And you can see it currently reads, "You have been invited to text with your financial advisor. Please send the word yes if you would like to connect. Reply stop to unsubscribe." If I click edit here, you'll notice the only thing I'm able to edit is the "you have been invited to text with your financial advisor." That's because the second half of this message is required to stay there. The "please send a word yes if you would like to connect," and reply stop to unsubscribe. Those are the important instructions that we need from a contact to make sure that we can send them messages, as well as to make sure they always have an option to stop receiving messages. So that ending will always stay the same, but you can come in here and edit, and if you don't want to say you've been invited to text with your financial advisor, you could have something that says something like, "Hi, it's your advisor. This is a new tool that we have to allow us to text with you. So if you have any needs, you don't have to call us or email us. You can simply send us a text message." And then it would end with reply, "Please send the word yes if you'd like to connect. Reply stop if you want to subscribe." But you can customize this message, press save, and then you'll see the option to allow users to configure a personal invite message. If I check this box, you'll notice that I have an additional box here. This allows each user to have their own personal invite. If I uncheck this box, you'll notice it goes away. And what this means is that every user will have the same message for their invite message. So that's really a personal preference. Some groups will like to have a standard one that comes from all the staff members. Some might want a more personal one that allows the client or the contact that they're texting to know who is inviting them to text versus a generic one from the business as a whole. Again, this is your choice, and you can choose to pick whichever option you want. But now that we've got our phone number set up, our integration set up, our other team members enabled to access, and lastly, our invite message, now we can get into text messaging. Now we can get into the fun part. To start texting, I'm going to leave this settings area and go back to the home screen by clicking the back arrow towards the top left. Once I'm back on the home page, I'm going to see what looks to be a pen and paper icon. It's our compose icon, which will allow me to create a message. Now, if I'm a CRM user, I'm going to be able to just start typing a name and it'll bring up results from my CRM to select. Or I can pick names from the list. If I'm not a CRM user, I'm going to need to add a contact before I can send a message to them. To add a contact, we'll go ahead and click the person icon to the right of the compose icon we just clicked on. This will bring up add contact. Once I fill in their information, I'll add this contact and it will take me to their page. Once I'm on their page, I'm not able to send messages to them yet because I'm still required to send that invite message. To send the invite, I'll go ahead and click send invitation, and that will initiate a text message to the contact with that customized message we made earlier. If the contact you send to accidentally deletes the message or loses the message in some way, then you can always resend them the message. Once the contact responds with yes, the page will instantly change and you'll now be able to send text messages to them. Now, when you send a text message to a contact, they receive it like any other text message. They don't have to download an app. They don't have to log in with a username and password. They're going to receive it whether they're on an Android or an iPhone. They'll receive it as a text message like every other message they're receiving. If a contact ever wants to stop receiving text messages, they will always have that ability to type stop, and that will end the conversation. You also have the ability to end the conversation by clicking on the three dots to the top right and clicking disband. Note, once a conversation is disbanded by either the contact sending stop or by you disbanding the room, it will require you to send a new invite message if you wish to resume the conversation. You will also see some different options when sending a text message. I can send attachments by clicking the paperclip option. I can send an emoji by clicking the emoji option. The other option I will see is to text clients using a template. Templates can be a great time saver when you're sending messages that you repeat on a regular basis. One example might be directions to your office, or even where to park when they arrive at your office. Rather than having to type all of that out each time, you can save it and use it whenever you need it. To create or edit templates, we will go back to our settings section by clicking on the icon in the top right corner. Once we are in settings, we're going to look for the option message templates. I already have some templates created, but if I wanted to create a new one, I can click create template. I will then give it a name and type the message that I would like to save as a template. You can use merge codes if you would like to be able to pull the contact's name into the message. So if I don't want to just send an indescript message, I could have it personalize it a little bit that says Bruce or things like that. Now, it's not like an email, so we don't want to make it sound too formal and do Dear Bruce, but I can use merge codes if I want to be able to say their name to start a text message. Once you press save on this template, it'll now be available for you to send at any time. So if we go back to the contact page we were on earlier, I can click on that template link, and you can see the message is populated, and I have saved a lot of time by not having to type it out. Speaking of time, there are going to be times in which you want to send a message to a client in the future. A great example of this might be a client's birthday. Rather than having to remember the day to send the message the day of, I can schedule a message today to go out on a later date. Another example of this might be when you set a meeting with a client. You can go ahead and schedule the meeting and then immediately go into Redtail Speak and set up a text reminder for the day before or whichever preference you would like. Let's show how we can schedule a message. To start, I'm going to go ahead and type out the message I want to send on a day in the future. Once I have typed it out, I'm going to click on the clock icon next to the send button. You will then get a dialog box where you can select the date and time you want the message to go out. Once you select the time, click schedule, and we're ready to go. You will notice that once I save the message, it will now display a note above the compose box that says your next message will be sent on and the time. You will also be able to click and see view all schedule messages. If I click on this link, I can see the messages that I just scheduled, but I can also see any other messages set to go out. It also will give me the option to cancel that message by clicking the trash can icon to the right of the message. This feature has a lot of great uses and can especially be effective at notifying contacts in the future. Speaking of notifications, Redtail Speak can notify you when you receive messages. It is easy to track responses when you are in the contact page of Speak and going back and forth with a client. But what about when you're in the CRM or another web page and you're not looking at Speak? How can we make sure we don't miss those messages? One way to avoid missing messages is to enable browser notifications. Browser notifications are little pop-ups that will display on your computer when you receive a message. You can enable browser notifications by going back to Settings and clicking on the Notifications button. Simply check the box to enable browser notifications, and you will be notified via a pop-up when a message is received. Notifications are a user preference, so you can choose what the threshold is for inactivity before you begin to get pop-ups, but the other users on your Redtail Speak subscription can choose their own settings for these notifications. Notifications are also going to be able to be seen via the Redtail Speak mobile app that is free to download from the App Store. Now, as much as we want to be available and ready to respond to text messages 24/7 for our clients, we may not want to support messages all the time. Redtail Speak offers out of office to allow you to create an autoresponder similar to what you may do with your email when you're on vacation. To set up or enable out of office, we're going to go back to settings. Once you are in settings, click on the out of office option. You will then be able to check the box that says send out of office reply. I can set it up to clear after a certain amount of time, like maybe you're going on a vacation for a week and you want it to clear once you return from vacation. Lastly, you will use the text box to customize the message that a contact who tries and texts you will receive from your out of office. Note, if you don't set clear after, the out of office message is going to stay on until you come in here and uncheck that box. Once an out of office is enabled, you will see it displayed in the top right of your Speak database as a reminder that it is turned on. This will help hopefully prevent you from forgetting when you've returned to the office to turn off your out of office. Another great feature of Redtail Speak is our bulk message and bulk invite features. The bulk invite feature allows you to take a list of all your contacts and send them an invite all at once. This can especially be helpful when you're first getting started and don't want to go contact by contact to send that invite message. To send a broadcast invite, we'll go ahead and click on the broadcast icon on the left. Once we click on broadcast, we will once again see a compose icon. This will bring up a compose box and there will be an option for broadcast invite. When we click on broadcast invite, it will bring up our contact lists. Note, contacts that have already begun texting you will be grayed out, and the ones yet to receive or accept an invite can be clicked on and added to the broadcast we are going to send out. If you don't want to pick them from a list, you can choose to type their name in at the top and select them that way as well. Once you have checked all the contacts that you wish to invite, you'll click the red Send Invitation button towards the top right. The broadcast message is very similar to the bulk invite feature. It allows me to send a single message to a group of contacts, and this can be great for event invitations, office hour updates, quick commentary on something going on in the market, or even to prompt a group of people to set up a meeting with you. To send a broadcast message, we will stay in our broadcast section and once again click on the compose icon. Once we click the compose icon, we will be presented with the contacts in our database that have accepted invitations to text. You can then check the contacts that you wish to send a broadcast message to. Once all the names are checked, go ahead and to the top right and click next. Once you click next, you'll be able to give broadcast message a name. This name is for your own tracking knowledge. It makes it easier to find the history of past broadcast messages. It also makes it easier to find the correct draft if you don't send it out right away. Once you give it a name, you can compose the message. You may notice as you compose the message, a draft saved message shows under your text box. You have the ability to leave this broadcast message and come back to it at a later time if you wish. Once you're ready to send, click Send, and the message will be sent to all the contacts on the list. Finally, you can always revisit previously sent broadcast messages to see who was on the list and confirm which messages were successfully delivered. Now, as great as Redtail Speak can be for texting your clients and your prospects, it also can be a great communication tool internally. Redtail Speak allows you to send direct messages to other Speak users and to create groups to have joint conversations. To get to the internal conversations of Speak, click on Teams in the top left, and you'll be presented with a couple of options. First, if we click on Channels, it's going to show existing group conversations that can be joined. Below Channels, you'll see direct messages where I can have one-on-one conversations with another Speak user. All the same features can be used in our text conversations are also available in Channels and direct messages. So I can send emojis, I can send attachments, and I can even use our schedule and template tools. If you want to create a channel for a group conversation, you'll go ahead and hit the plus symbol and give the channel a name. Once the channel is created, I can invite others to join that channel. To initiate a direct message, you'll find a team member's name and then type my message. With all the messages you'll be sending, it's nice to be able to search through those conversations you've previously had. At the top of Redtail Speak, you'll notice a search bar. You'll be able to find conversations by looking for a word or a phrase, and this is going to search not just your direct messages and your channels, but also your text conversations with clients. Once you search, you'll see a list of results displayed, and you have the option to show context. By clicking Show Context, you can jump to the exact point in the conversation where that word or phrase came up. In addition to being able to review past messages in Speak, Redtail CRM users also have the ability to review past conversations from directly inside the CRM. To view these, you'll go to a client in the CRM and you'll look for the Speak History tab inside the contact record. Finally, text messaging is meant to be convenient. It's meant to be on the go. I should be able to text people from anywhere. Redtail Speak has a mobile app just for that purpose. It's available on the Google Play and Apple App Store. And that app allows you to do pretty much everything that I demonstrated today, as well as I referenced earlier, it can be a great tool for notifying you so you don't miss any messages. And that's it for our Redtail Speak overview. I hope it helped you better understand our great texting and internal communication tool. If you have any questions, feel free to visit our website, www.redtailtechnology.com. And you'll find Redtail Speak under our products tab, or you can give our sales team a call, 800-206-5030, and press option 2 for sales. Thank you and have a great day.